Frida Kahlo. Born on the 6th of June 1907 in Culiacan, Mexico, Frida Kahlo was one of four children. She has two older sisters and one younger sister, who was born a year after her. Frida Kahlo had polio at a very young age, which had affected her use of her right leg and foot. Because of this, her father had encouraged her to do sports like soccer and swimming, which was very uncommon for someone to encourage a woman to do during that time period. It was after a bus accident that she had started painting. She didn't start painting out of her want or need to become an artist. It was just because she was bored and she needed something to do, and she wasn't able to do much more after that accident. After Kahlo had become politically active, she had married a communist artist named Diego Rivera in 1929. They actually married two times because they were divorced for a short period of time. Before death, Frida had been able to present her art in both Mexico and Paris. Her death was at 1954. Some important world events that had occurred during her lifetime were both the World War I and World War II, the Great Depression, and the Mexican Revolution. Frida Kahlo was a part of many art movements, which were the naive art, modern art, surrealism, magical realism, symbolism, primitivism, naturalism, social realism, and cubism. Other art movements that happened concurrently with her work were Impressionism, Expressionism, Art Deco, abstractive, purism, and academic. Her theories on art were that even though many people wanted to label her as being a surrealist, she rejected that label, even though a lot of her work had a lot of surrealism elements in them, as well as her participation in the International Exhibition of Surrealism in 1940 at the Galería de Arte Mexicano. Because she rejected the label because she felt that she wasn't painting a dream, but she was painting her own reality. She took a lot of what was going on in the world at the time and she created wonderful, beautiful works of art, like the one in this screen right now, which is Moses, which she painted in 1945. Now, Frida Kahlo did this painting as the baby being Hitler, because during the time it was when the World War II was coming towards its end when she painted it, and she felt that that was the great representation of what was going on at the time. Some main elements that Kahlo had used was the elements of space and the way that she showed depth in her artwork. Like you can see in the self-portrait along the borderline between Mexico and the United States, which she painted in 1932. How she seems to be at the forefront of the painting, with the buildings and the pyramids are behind her. She uses a lot of light and darkness in her artwork. This helps her focus the main focal points of the picture plane and then have the surrounding areas as an outline of what her focus is. The form used was three dimensions on a two-dimensional plane. She used a lot of texture in her artworks, in which she has different elements that are in her painting that have great detail, and the viewer can almost touch the leaves or the flowers or the material of her dress, where everything kind of seems more tactile through her artwork. So, the principles of design. Balance. There is a slight balance between the two sides, however. The sides seem to be leaning more towards the American side of the border due to the industries, where it seems more in depth. There's more volume on the American side than on the Mexican side, where everything on the American side seems more like closer together, more intact, more strength, and it's more stable. The unity between the both sides is Frida herself, where she's the one standing in the middle, uniting both sides. She's standing actually on a checkpoint block. The rhythm seems to be going left to right, and it's whenever something is added to the Mexican side, there seems to be an American counterpart to it. There's a great contrast between both sides in this painting. Frida Kahlo had given ordinary events and things in life an extraordinary and unique version. For example, her birth, in which she said that she believed it was herself giving birth to herself, which you can see in My Birth, 1932 by Frida Kahlo. She also feels that her birth had a direct connection to the Mexican Revolution. She gave tangible feelings and emotions of both the unknown and known, in which she uses her use of colors and shapes really influence how the audience should use and feels about her artwork. Frida Kahlo had received a lot of art criticism over the years, both while she was painting and afterwards. But the most noticeable were that many people believed her work to be surrealist, even though she denied it. Her artwork was filled with naive and filled with symbolism, and there was a renewed interest in her life and work in the 70s due to the feminist movement. A lot of her work can be viewed at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art in San Francisco, the Harry Ransom Center in Austin, and the National Museum of Women in the Arts in Washington, D.C.